Hello and good afternoon, good evening. I'm Tara. So I came to bring you guys a video today. Um, the allergies outside and everything that's blowing around me is killing my eyes. So they're running. I had to put some chains on. But I want to talk about some things today as far as and as long as my camera will hold me. I'm on grandmother and babysitting duty. So the baby is in the background. There's been some things I've been holding in, holding back, that I've wanted to speak on. Um, some of them I'm going to save, but some things I'm going to talk about today. I always speak on my knowing and understanding of how I got here and got to this point. And I do it in bits and pieces, drips and drabs of what I've experienced. The dreams that I've had, um, definitely starting about 15 years ago, because I always took it as everyone would tell me they're just dreams. Until, like I said before in another video, I ran across a lady that actually told me they weren't just dreams, they're prophetic dreams. And everyone doesn't dream as I do. So there is a dream that I had, and I'm just going to say this part of it, about the dream, but I'll bring you guys more and more of the story that leads up to this moment. Calm down, baby. Calm down. One dream that I had was years ago. I was in a marriage for a very long time. And a lot of things I've heard people say, "Oh, let it go," but I can't let it go. I've been told by spirit that this is something that I need to talk about. That's why I can't let it go. I need to speak on what has occurred because there's people that I'm sure have gone through the same thing I've gone through throughout life, and maybe they need to understand this if nobody else does. So I'm gonna bring my story forward, so maybe it can help someone else along their journey. A long time ago, I had a dream, and I was asleep, and I kept hearing a voice of a child saying, "Mommy, I'm ready. Mommy, wake up. Mommy, I'm ready." And when I woke up, the dream was so real. I woke up, there was no one there. And I was thinking that my youngest child was actually talking to me, telling me she was ready for school. But when I woke up, there was no one in the room at all. So I couldn't put the pieces together of that. The next dream after that, I remember, I don't have my notebooks either because I remember these things like it was yesterday. There was another dream I had where I was in my Jeep. I had a truck. My mother was in the front seat, and all the children were in the back. And I pulled up to this house with this envelope in my hand, and I knocked on a door of a house. But the house had a main door, which was open, and like an old school screen door where you can see through the glass and it has a screen on the bottom. And I was tapping on that part of the door, and um, the ex came to the door holding this beautiful little girl in his arms, which looked like my daughter. She had a pink coat on, lighter complected child in complexion. And I just remember handing an envelope to him. And I said, "Oh, is that your baby?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Oh, she's a beautiful child." And there was a lady standing in the background at a cabinet, like in a kitchen cabinet. Had a bob haircut, which was how my hair was cut back then, and a bob. Dressed similar to me with like a denim shirt on. So in the dream, I'm thinking it was me, but she would never turn around for me to see her face. And I said, "Oh, that's a beautiful baby." Gave him the envelope, some papers in it, and I left. And I kept asking myself, I wonder what that dream meant. I wonder what it meant. Well, years go down the line, years go by. And I figured out, put it together, that the envelope that I served him were not trying to be sarcastic and rude, but I'm just bringing things forward. There were divorce papers because I was the one that actually filed for the divorce. Um, which led up to other things that were very prominent in my life. I was at Lowe's one day going through the garden center, and a lady pulled up behind me in a black old school Trans Am. And this is not a dream. She jumped out right when I was getting out. She had on all black. And she tapped me on my back, and she really scared me because I didn't think she was walking towards me. And she said, "Well, God told me to reveal something to you," and she gave me a message. And I was like, "Oh, okay." Um, I ran across several people during that time. So that to say, I went out of town. I said I was going to say this, but I need to say it. I went out of town to my grandmother's 75th birthday party. Me, the kids, whole family. The ex-husband stayed behind, said he had to work and things like that. And I was like, okay, I didn't think much of it. I did a road trip. Me, my sister-in-law, my mom was in another car and took the kids. I come back home. It's nail it time when I get back home. Like everything was out of whack, out of order. The energy in the house was bad. I just okay. Well, let's fast forward to time, and it's time to sell the house that we're in. And the I'm trying to think of the correct name when they come to do an initial detail of the inspector came to look at the house, and he said, "Well, something's wrong with the bathroom sink. There's two sinks, my sink and male sink over there. Something's wrong with your sink." And I'm like, "How's something wrong with my sink? It wasn't nothing wrong with my sink." So I'm steady. I noticed I had been running the water in the sink, and it would bubble up to the sink. And I'm like, the kids dropped a toothpaste top or something in my sink, and didn't think much of it. Well, my neighbor, the plumber, I called him to come over. I'm not gonna say his name. I said, "I need you to come and repair the sink. The inspector's here. We gotta sell the house." He took the U shape from out of the bottom of the cabinet, and he called me in the restroom and said, "Miss Tara, come here. I need you to come look at something." So I go in there and I look, and I'm like, "What?" He was like, "You know what this is?" And I'm like, "No, I don't know what it is. I haven't been here." He said, "Who's been in your house?" I said, "I don't know." And I said, "Who was in there?" And other than that, no one else has been in my house. And he said, "Someone has been in your house unless you did this to yourself." I said, "Well, what is it?" He says, "Candle wax." I said, "Why the hell would candle wax be in my bathroom sink?" He said, "Maybe you need to talk to the other person about that." So he called his father in Mexico, and his father said, I could hear him. He said, "Call me on FaceTime, mijo." And he said, "Okay, Dad." Called him on FaceTime, and he said, "The lady whose house you're in is an earth angel." So I'm like, "What is that?" And he asked to see my face on FaceTime, and he asked me some questions. Where was I from? And he told me what had been done in my house while I was gone. Come to find out, someone has tried to put blockages. Yeah. They tried to block me. They poured candle wax down my sink. He explained to me what all that meant, um, everything that it stemmed from, and said that he would pray for me. I had never heard of high priestess and priests until I met him. And he was doing this to me, and I'm like, don't do that. And he told me, he said, do you know who your guardian angel is? Everyone has one. And I said, no, sir, I don't understand all of that. I'm just, I believe in Jesus and I believe in God, and I'm explaining to him what I believe in. And he's telling me, he said exactly. He said, baby, Jesus is your guardian angel. Angel. He asked me to read up on some things as far as who Legua was and things like that, and I guess Orishas of what he understands, and which was different from what I understood at that time. And he said that's who walks with you at all times, along with other angels that guard and protect you. That led up to, after something else that happened, I had an issue with my back. The doctor wanted to do surgery, and I said, no, you are not going to my back. I was left in the house after an injection they did to numb me to take away some of the pain. Kids were gone. Everyone was gone. I was there by myself. I was placing clothes in a dresser that I have. And at that moment, while I was placing clothes in my dresser, my back was turned towards the other part of the house, which led up to the living room area and up the stairs. There was like something rushed up my body and just was wiping me as my hair just stood all up to the point I was actually, I'm not gonna lie, I was scared to turn around. I didn't know what was behind me, and I just started praying. And I heard a voice speak to me. What you got, baby? Hold on. Give me just a minute. I heard a voice speak to me and say, turn around. Hold on. Turn around. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Face it. Face it. I don't know if you guys seen the movie with Mel Gibson years ago called Signs, but when I turned around, there was, all I can say, it was an entity, something that was on my steps that was so tall, and I mean abnormally tall. It had no facial features, no eyes. It was just a blank face. No nose structure, no mouth structure. It was just a blank face. It was dark. The arms were really long. It was long. It was so long that it was going towards up the steps, but it couldn't. It had to bend over because there was an overhead. So it was bent. When I tell you, I took out of that house running like I jumped in my truck, hurt back and all, and I ran to a lady that told me from the start of what I've told you all about. I ran to her, the one that told me I had gifts and I needed to use them. And I asked her, what the hell was that in my house if I wasn't there? And she explained to me why. So for everyone that, I'm going to make it shorter. I'm going to fast forward this. I was always afraid to talk to people about the encounters because some people just don't believe in that. And when I would talk to people about it, they were like, I've never seen anything like that. I don't even believe things like that exist. I don't know. It's not real. It's not real. Yes, they are. They're real. Hmm. The thing is, they don't show themselves to everyone. Everyone is not supposed to see them, but yes, they are real. They are real. They are very, very real. I don't understand how people can believe that nothing else exists on this planet other than us. These type of things I've encountered since I was young. First time I ever had an encounter, I was a very young girl, and they revisited. The thing about when they visit you, they will always revisit you. And the reason I brought that up, because that was supposed to be the next story, but the reason I had to put that in there is because I really believe that's when my awakenings kind of like starting. It's more to seeing them than what people think. I was more afraid of it, but it wasn't afraid. It, it wasn't there to harm or hurt me. Let me put it that way. That's the best way I can put it. So the pastor came to the house after, and there were other things going on in that house, and that to say that house sold, and the people that it sold to, they're no longer even there. I passed by that house last week, my oldest daughter and I, and literally that at that moment there was another family moving in. They got a U-Haul in the driveway moving in. It's something about I'm not gonna say it's something. I know what it is. That house, that house. It was time to go. It was too many things went on in that house. So I brought those things up to say whoever was in my house while I was gone, two doves on the gate. While I was gone, I know you were there. You left your energy signature behind. I knew you was there from the time I walked in my house when I came back from my trip with my children. I just couldn't pinpoint who it was at that time. And it wasn't for me to pinpoint who it was at that time. Just like at the time when I saw the child and the young lady wouldn't turn around for me to see her face. I wasn't supposed to see her face. She was hiding. Everyone's gifts are different. My gifts will be different from yours. Yours will be different from mine. We learn off of each other. We teach each other. This esoteric community and systems that we live in is very wide. It's very diverse, just as people. So I'm gonna say, when it comes to a lot of things with what they call aliens, they're not aliens. No, they're not. The extraterrestrials,
Does that make you flower?
they're historical for a reason. Thank you, baby. I love the flower. They're historical for a reason. They've been here for many, many,
say
many,
hi.
many years, even before us.
I'll say hi, Tata.
Yes, say hi.
Hi.
Okay. Before us. There's a few things they don't understand when it comes to the human body. Reproduction. I'll go into all that. That's a whole nother topic another time. But when you think about our aerodynamic systems and airplanes and things like that, do you actually think humans had enough knowledge and common sense to come up with an airplane? We were given certain information and knowledge to learn how to do things like that. My terminology may not be as grand and wide variety as some that are out here speaking on certain things, but I'm gonna bring it to you the best way that
Sing.
I can.
Sing.
I'm not singing.
Yeah.
No.
There's that.
So at the end of the day, um, I can only give you the knowledge that I know and understand. And I'm going to get ready to cut it short because for some reason my storage tends to run out. But there's a song that's been playing on my head and on my mind for a minute now. And my grandbaby asked me to sing, so maybe I'll sing. Can't sing, but I feel the need to sing it. It's Andra Day. You want to come and sing it with me? Come on.
Okay.
She said, okay. So what you want to sing?
I'm gonna sing Elsa.
I don't know Elsa, but I'm going to sing this one. And I'll rise like a wave. I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I will rise 1,000 times again with you. You, you. I love you.
Yeah.
I'll rise up. Say rise up.
Rise up.
We shall rise.
Rise.
We shall rise.
Rise.
High five. Already. Rise up, you guys. Let's think outside the box. Say yeah.
Yeah.
Say think outside the box.
Think out the box.
It's a great knowing, and it's a grand understanding.
It's a great understanding.
There has to be other life, and there are other beings in this planet other than us, which are the most intelligent beings. Thank you, Casey.
I wake up.
You're my wingman. You guys have a blessed day.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.
Mwah.